Liverpool versus everybody. Good afternoon or morning or evening, wherever you are. It's a lovely day here, DC. Good to be back from New York. Had a great time. And yeah, it's nice to see that the sun isn't so almost violent as it was large parts of last week and weeks before. Here to talk about two players in our team that I just feel like need that time, and also just want to try to stick to making videos weekly, and then hopefully I'll get back with the gang towards the end of the week to build up to Burnley. But listen, I'm talking about Fabinho and Matip today, and the ironic thing about it is that, at least for me, they remind me of each other. Neither one of them are the fastest players. They would never be considered, their speed would never be considered as a hallmark or high point of their different footballing characteristics, but or what they have within them. But I think even maybe lacking that a bit, they're both very long, and they both can be effective with those long limbs, particularly Fabinho in the middle of the park. And Fabinho, man, I'm gonna start with him first. I'm just forever thankful to Edwards and Klopp for seeing what he had in him, getting him in a very quiet way. And to be fair, I didn't really watch much of him in the French league. I saw a few of their games when he's with that Monaco team that had Bernardo Silva, Mbappe, Bakayoko, all those guys. But to really watch him in a game and focus in on him, that hadn't happened. So I knew he was good when we got him, but wow. And I remember against this same opponent that we had Saturday, Arsenal, was a game that Fabinho was in last season. People were thinking, he looked pretty good, but to that point, is he really up to the speed for the Prem? And I think all those questions have long ago been answered. And someone put out a compilation of the many moments he had against Arsenal. And some of them were just basic moments where it's a simple pass to someone else, but it largely showed that his passing is very, very underrated. Him being Brazilian, of course, he's good on the ball, can't get the ball off of him. He has a very suave way, relaxed way of playing football, and it's really beautiful to see. My favorite moment was pretty much in one movement. He tackled the guy, and passed the ball off to start the break, or the counter, I should say, for us. And that really just, I think, showed everything that Fabinho has within him. And I'm just happy we had him. To me, he's a mixture of, as a blend of Mascherano, Alonso, and Gerrard all in one. Because Arsenal was playing that low block, he was more than just a six in that game. He was the quarterback and pretty much at the center of a lot of great things we did. Unfortunately, some of the things he did, some passes didn't really lead to goals, although they should have. But he has this way of just tagging these balls, man, just spray painting these balls all over the pitch. Of course, it was his pass that led up to the second goal for Salah that everyone is raging about. And pass stats are really weird, right? Like, the pass was great to get it out to him. Salah did a lot of the work to finish that off, but you still can't knock the vision, the skill, acumen to get the ball out there on a dime to Salah's feet and let Salah do the rest of the work. But no, he's just, and I've talked about it before, but from the back to the front, we have at least 5 or 6 dudes that can be considered the best of that position in England or in the world, in Europe. And if not the best, there's an argument to be made that they're one of the top 3 to 5 best at their position. And when's the last time we can look at this Liverpool team and say that? You look at Robertson, probably hands down the best in the world at that position. Van Dijk, of course. We'll get to Matip in a little bit, but he's slowly but surely becoming one of the best in England, at least. Trent, you can argue that, more so going forward with this assist, set piece taken at that age. In the midfield, of course, Fabinho, and then the front 3. And then, obviously, did I say goalkeeper? Alisson as well. But yeah, Fab is just a special talent, man. What he does for this team is just incredible. And we had seasons of Henderson and Genie, and in the past, Emre Can, and we needed that guy to really break things up. And what Klopp is doing with this season upon season, is really, really remarkable, man. Putting this team, not even one of the best in England, or arguably the best, depending on who you ask, but one of the top 2, 3, 4 teams in Europe, easily, right now. So there's nothing but, we can only go up from here. And, there's times when we are guilty of being a little too laxed in games. But I think the positive to that is that we're just so good. And even if teams do score you feel like we have the ability, the capability to lock games off, or just go and score another one. So yeah, great performance against Arsenal. Of course, like I said, we'll get back to a build up on Burnley. This is really strictly just about Fabinho and Matip. So I want to put a question to you guys. I've kind of spoken about it before, but I want to get a better idea of how you guys feel. For me, especially when Matip is getting goals, which I said in the post-match against Arsenal, he should be trying to look to get that a little bit more. He is one of the tallest guys on the pitch at that point, in those moments, in the set-piece situations. So he needs to be trying to get more touches, more shots on target in that area. Or maybe it's just as simple as whoever's taking the corner kicks, which is probably going to be Trent, he's on the pitch, just aiming to get the ball on, in his direction so he can, head one of those home. Because, if he's adding that in this game, and then the marauding runs from deep, the defending awareness, the how smart, cerebral he is. I mean, when's the last time we had a center back doing what he does, driving from deep, and you don't feel panicked? This is not a Sacco situation. All due respect to Sacco, he has some good moments for us, but you just fully trust Matip right there next to Van Dijk. But both of these guys have just come a long way. But yeah, on Matip, do you guys think it's too early to say Matip is kind of the one? Also keeping in mind that Gomez will obviously play plenty of minutes, whether it be center back, switching out with Matip, or whether it be right back switching out with Trent. Do you think it's too early to be saying those things, or do you think Matip has kind of moved up in the pecking order as far as being the number one a partner with Van Dijk? We obviously know Van Dijk's going to be first on the team sheet. I feel like Fabinho is the same kind of player where Klopp is making his decisions. He's thinking, look, these guys are already in. I say right up the middle. Those guys are already going to be in. For me, I just think Matip, on the back end of last season up till now, is doing really well, especially, like I said, he's getting goals. You can't ever forget how Gomez and Van Dijk looked, particularly early in that season, last season. Gomez is coming back, looking strong. Obviously came back from a really terrible injury, unfortunately. And it's not even a thing to knock Gomez or say Matip is necessarily better than him. I just think for our defense, how we play, for our team, he looks the best next to Van Dijk to me. And again, just all the other things that he adds to his game that I think Gomez could also do, but I think Matip is doing them slightly better. The marauding with the ball through the middle of the park, the passing even, adding the goals from set pieces, defending. He's looked a bit more cleaner, I would say. And again, maybe that has something to do with just Gomez trying to fully get back from being out for so long, which seemed like forever last season. But yeah, for me, it's just Matip, and I just think again, having him and Fabinho. Fabinho didn't start off great, but stepping up throughout last season, even this season, Matip's the same. Matip was never, when he first came in, he looked really good. I have a t-shirt with his name on it that I wear extra proudly now. And he was probably the best between Lovren and him. And then I think Lovren kind of got a bit ahead. And then Matip, he was struggling with injury. He can never really stay fit for a full set of matches or string of matches. Same thing with Lovren, but Matip has just kind of passed all those guys to me in one way or another. And I think he just deserves his place in their team. And I think that's what we would hope to see. The thing is, although I know Gomez will come in from time to time, I want to see a set pairing. All this flip-flopping and not knowing who it's going to be. As much as it's a given that Van Dijk is going to be in that position, I think that other guy with him should be a given as well at some point. And I think it's probably a good point to do that now. Knowing that Matip does have a tendency to get injured. Yes, he didn't show that last season, but if he does, we do have a Gomez we can go to. I don't know how much longer we'll have a Lovren. I don't know if the transfer window has closed in other areas in Europe, but I just feel very confident with what we have in the defensive department, which again, we're coming from Skirtle and Sacco and all these kind of dudes that just weren't ever going to really fit the bill for a team that was going to do some serious things. So, just proud of this team. I think that defensive display we showed against Arsenal was the best so far. Still a young season, so I guess not much saying that, but we had been a little bit concerned about the defense, and the game against Arsenal really showed that. Yeah, it was disappointing to see us concede that goal, but the performance defensive-wise was stellar in my mind. So, yeah, I just want to see you guys' opinions on Matip and Gomez. Again, do you think it's too early, or do you feel like Matip has shown that? Obviously, keeping in mind that they will be in and out just because of rotation and things of that nature. We don't want to get guys, overwhelmed as far as minutes played, things of that nature. But I would love to see a stat on Fabinho and how many times he touched the ball in that game against Arsenal. I mean, again, this guy was a part of just about, if not everything we did positive. And then again, some things that unfortunately we didn't finish it off because the guy was just really incredible in the middle of that park, man. There wasn't much that got past him. There wasn't many times where people got the ball off of him. He completed most of the passes that I saw. And even if he didn't, he was right there to try to get it back and maybe, hit it back to the keeper or recycle it back to a player to keep it safe. So just an incredible talent, and just feel very blessed to have him. He's one of those dudes that you realize if he's out of the team for any significant amount of time, you see that we miss him. So that's it for me for today. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about Matip and Gomez, and any further opinions you have about Fabinho and how important he is for this team. So that's me for Tuesday, and I will see you guys sooner than later. Until next time.